So talk a little bit about what brought you to CalendarAnything and why you ultimately decided to choose CalendarAnything as your calendar of choice for Salesforce.
Yeah. So um, we offer automation services. So if you think about a short-term rental, there's a lot of things that need to take place from a basic maintenance perspective that are challenging. It's not like a house that you or I may live in where someone's there all the time to do the work. Even simple things like changing HVAC filters or changing the filter in a refrigerator, or even just changing light bulbs. All these things need to happen in these properties. They also get beat up. People come and go. Here's an interesting stat. An average Airbnb that can accommodate 12 people with about a 70% occupancy will see 2,000 people going through it every single year. Think about 2,000 people in your property or your rental. It causes a lot of damage. So our customers use us for reactive work, i.e. when customers or guests have complaints or there's something not working. But we also set up automated schedules. And so we're going to the property typically once a month. It depends on occupancy levels, but sometimes it's more than once a month. But we're going in there to do services, and that ranges from 1 of 10 different services. We originally were thinking about a timeline. We wanted a different UI. The UI our customers had was kind of what all of us are familiar with Salesforce, where it's a long list of tasks and a long list of completed tasks as well as upcoming tasks. And it's just not the way our minds work. We don't look at lists and understand all the data that's related to that list in terms of what is that service, how long is it going to take, when was the last time that service occurred. So our original concept was building out a timeline. And I wanted to, I worked with different developers. I looked at what was on the App Exchange. And we were really thinking about a point solution at that time. We need a timeline so our customers can view their property and view all the related data that's important to it from a maintenance perspective. That could have been done quite easily, and it wouldn't have had any reoccurring licensing costs, but it would have only done one little thing for us. And so we looked at different calendaring apps, and we started to realize that there was more need and future need to our requirements than just a timeline. I'd remembered working with CalendarAnything in the past. I remember that, I'd been multiple different roles at Salesforce. So that came top of mind. And what we realized is that CalendarAnything really was a platform. It's not a point solution. So we originally rolled out this incredible timeline where, our customers through their mobile app, that was another requirement of ours, which created the idea of developing it even more complex. But through our mobile app, they can view their own property's timeline. They can view what we've done in that property, what's upcoming, what's occurring this week, and they can actually create their own events and create their own work orders right through the calendar itself. So what was originally just a UI became an area where our customers were actually creating data records within it and viewing that data record and approving those data records right within the calendar itself. So what I try to say to people who are looking at CalendarAnything is that you have to think about it as a platform, and you have to think about all the different use cases that it can do. Now that we have it, it's great because, like I said, we built the business on Salesforce. So when a new requirement comes up, of course we're using Salesforce, but we as a team are saying, should this be in CalendarAnything, and should we leverage CalendarAnything for the UI portion of this new need?
I love it. Thank you so much for that overview. That was great. And I know a lot of the conversations we've had over the past several months have been around the fact that it was so easy and quick to set up. So I definitely want to talk to you a little bit about the timeline from when you engaged us to when you actually went live, and how that out of the box functionality really helped streamline your processes and get you going quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the time to value was almost immediate. We are fortunate in that we're a startup. While we run the entire company on the platform, it's not like we do a lot of UAT or have to test everything out in a sandbox before rolling it out. We might have used the sandbox a little bit, but I would say about 3 days after we had installed the package, we already had the first iteration out. We were fortunate in that all of our activities were tracked in a standard Salesforce object called work orders. And that was not something that needed to be coded. That was right out of the box. And we basically decided, what is it that we want to display on the calendar? And then what is it that we want our customers to be able to create in the calendar? That was it. Those were the two things we had to do. it conformed to our security settings, it conformed to our user sharing settings, it conformed to, it was very easy to decide what we wanted to share on the mobile app versus the internal view, even to our maintenance individuals, which we call vendors. All of those different constituents are leveraging that UI of CalendarAnything.